Hey, Crimson Tide fans, welcome back to another episode of the Alabama Adapted Athletics Coaches Show. This is Week 8, and with me once again is women's wheelchair basketball head coach Ryan Hynes. I'm Dom Taylor. Coach, welcome back to another episode. It's been, I think it was before Christmas was the last time that you were on, and, a lot of great stuff happening with the program since then. I'm sure you're also excited. The Super Bowl is coming up, and once again, your Green Bay Packers will not be there. It's okay. My Atlanta Falcons will not be there either. But one thought that I had as I was like sitting here before you actually got to the table was, what if like for the NIWBT we had our own media day?
Ooh,
like, have you heard of all the questions that they've been asking people at the media days? Like Nick Sirianni, head coach for the Eagles, when they're like, "So, coach, is this a must-win game?" Like, if a reporter came up to you and they asked you, like for any game, if they were like, "Coach Hynes, is this a must-win game?" Would you feel? I mean, we could do without this one. We could do without winning this one.
No, not this one.
Yeah, not this one. We can
maybe next year.
Next week probably we'll get back to winning. But this, I've just told the girls, like, just you don't need, just chill. Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. I think we've have a lot of laughs.
Yeah, there's some interesting questions for sure. Yeah.
Very much so. Things that for a learning experience for me as a journalism master's student, it's like, okay, don't ask a coach if that's a winnable game.
Yeah.
It's a must-win game. Yeah, it's obviously a must-win game. In the greatest segue in the history of segues, we'll now thank our sponsor, Honey Stinger. After that cold open, Honey Stinger, the sponsor of the Alabama Adapted Athletics Coaches Show. Honey Stinger is a sports nutrition brand that uses natural sweeteners in their products, and they'll assist our athletes in preparation, performance, and recovery for all competition this season. Look for their products, the Honey Stinger Waffle Bar and the Honey Stinger Energy Chews, as always, in retail stores. Thank you so much, Honey Stinger, for sponsoring the show. Coach, I want to let you start with an opening statement on the Hollister Winter Bash. I know it was a couple weeks ago, but you had a complete domination that weekend, 3 really solid wins, and then a win again in the UA Early College Classic just this last weekend. So you start off the semester continuing to be a phenomenal playing team. You're 17-1 on the season. Give me your assessment of how your squad's been playing so far up to this point.
Yeah, super pleased with just where we're at this point of the season. About a month away exactly from Nationals. So, couldn't be happier with our point we're playing at right now. I think we're really starting to hit our stride. I think we had some really good games at our college tournament to open the semester up. We really played the way we want to. We were able to kind of dictate the pace of the game that we wanted. We were averaging probably our best shooting percentage on average for a tournament this season. So, again, things are trending the right direction. Again, it's all about peaking first week of March, second week of March, which is what we're heading to right now. So, super pleased with the team. We continue to work hard every day in practice, and that's really all I can ask of them. So,
Of course. Just talking about this ABC Medical game just this last weekend, the only loss on your entire schedule so far was a very close loss to the same ABC Medical team, a team that you play for when you play the men's team, and it was a different result this time, a 69-66 victory that everybody had a little hand in. I mean, there were a lot of this points were spread out amongst the team. Mary got involved, Lindsay got involved, Bailey got involved, Maura got involved. There were just a bunch of different players that really contributed this past weekend, and I think the biggest thing that I noticed, at least, it seemed like there was a different way of attacking Michael Operance. He still had a great game. He still scored in the 40s. But, this time around, you were able to up your scoring. You were able to capitalize in the ways that you wanted to a lot more the second time around, a lot more points in the paint. Again, your shooting percentage was up. Echoes from the last weekend that you played at the Hollister Winter Bash. So talk about what was the difference in attack this time against ABC Medical.
Yeah, defensively, again, just playing that team with Oppie on it is, we don't see somebody like him in the women's game at all.
Yes.
Which is great because he's
that
a
is
monster.
great. That is a plus.
But so, like, our defense, honestly, is probably undisciplined if you looked at it just in a normal game standpoint. But for them, it's really about just bringing extra help to his side. And I think we did a better job of that. He's still going to get his points. But as long as we can limit it as much as possible. And then offensively, it's just, again, it's a different team. They've got a lot of experience even away from Oppie, and then you've got him in there who can just kind of clog the middle. So we knew we're not going to get a ton of stuff inside, but we can attack them in transition, which we did really well that game. And then in the half court, really after the first quarter, we just kind of settled in and realized how they were playing us. We got the ball moving a little bit crisper, and our shots were about the same, but we were just taking them in more rhythm in our offense, and we started to see the results with some good made baskets. And, everybody had a hand in it. Bailey Moody, I thought, had one of her best games here, defensively and shooting. I mean, she shot the lights out that game. So
I remember calling her name a ton of times. It just seemed like she was setting up right on, I think it was like the right side post, and she just posting up. I mean, literally, she just, she was phenomenal from the mid-range. Fantastic touch in that game. And, shout out to Bailey Moody for a phenomenal game. Another player that back in the lineup, Lindsay Zerbrug, working around in the rotation once again. Having her back is, of course, an amazing thing to see. She's already been making waves in this already stacked rotation, but one of the biggest shots of the night, of course, came just a few seconds before the end of the game. Echoes of the national championship game buzzer beater from last year. It almost looked like it came from around the same area. But she didn't get the start, which in basketball doesn't really mean much. I mean, that has to do with what lineup you wanted to play, your how you were dictating your point totals, of course. But having to sub in one of the best shooters on your team, one of the most clutch shooters in the women's division, it's just an interesting thing. Take me through that timeout with 20 seconds left. You want to get your team right. What was talked about? Was it another situation of like, okay, Lindsay, you got to be in. The ball's coming to you. We need the most clutch shooter to take that shot, or was it unscripted? Take us through those final 20 seconds and what led to the victory.
Yeah, honestly, the great part about this team, we're a good mix of youth and some experience, but we have a ton of experience, so I trust them to make reads and decisions on the floor. So really all we talked about was, well, first, a little frustration on the previous play. We gave up a three that we didn't want to, but, wiped it clean, and we talked about holding the ball for one shot. So we wanted to start our attack at about 10 seconds on the clock. So worst case scenario is we're playing in overtime. Best case scenario, obviously, we knock it down and win it in regulation, and we were lucky enough to do that. But it was really just about talking when we want to attack, what play we want to run off of the sideline. But then after that, it was just being smart of the situation, attacking at the right time, and just getting an open window for, like you said, a great shooter to shoot it, and she knocked it down.
She knocked it down indeed. I was freaking out, as you could probably hear from the broadcast, and I was like, do I repeat the same thing that I said last year? The stakes were a little different. A little bit different. So I probably wasn't freaking out as much, but it was still very cool, and it made me have flashbacks to last season's national championship winning shot. And it's just great to see Lindsay back and in her element and making big plays as she always does. Another player that made big plays that is just at the beginning of her college career, Erin Buckles, and she got some more minutes in the rotation last week in the Hollister Winter Bash. She was also knocking down some shots underneath. She had some great screens, great seals, and just an overall great game. Her minutes are increasing from what I've noticed. Talk about what depth she adds at the 1-0 classification for your squad, and then just how you've seen her progress so far in her freshman year.
Yeah, she's one that just works super hard every day. Came in a really talented player for a 1-0. Great touch on the ball, can knock it down, just like quickening up her release a little bit, being a little more comfortable finishing with some bigger bodies around her, which she has gotten a ton better at. And then she's one of the best sealers out there, honestly. And it's just getting her strength and speed up a little bit so that she can hit those at a greater success rate. But like I said, she works hard every day. Is great for depth for like Louisa to give her a break, or Abby to give her a break, and trusting that she's going to go in there and we're not going to really miss a beat with her in there. And it's been exciting for all of our freshmen. Erin especially, just seeing her from day one to now, she's gotten so much better.
Excited to see her play some more minutes throughout this season, and potentially might be some more opportunities this weekend. We'll see, and that'll lead us into talk about this weekend. 3 games coming up. We've got Arizona, Illinois, and Whitewater. Once again, all teams that you've been able to defeat before, you and the team. and talk about some of the challenges coming into this weekend. You've yet to lose to any of these teams. All of the wins have been pretty convincing, and you might see some different things from these teams. Illinois is always a tough battle. The last few games you've kind of separated yourself in the second half, but they've been close at times. And just talk me through what you're talking to your team about getting ready for the trip to Illinois this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is just continuing to play our game on the offensive end, patient, unselfish, defensively. Just getting a little bit quicker at our rotations. We kind of know our assignments on these teams now. We've played them a few times. So just staying disciplined and true to our assignments. And then, transition is where I think we can separate ourselves from these three teams that we'll play this weekend. 3 more big college games for us. I think a challenge is always playing on the road. First night game on Friday night is Illinois. So we'll play Arizona to start the day, and then we get Illinois at night. I'm assuming they'll have a really good crowd there for the game, so it should be a little noisy, so got to deal with some crowd noise. So that's always a little bit interesting. Sometimes it takes us a second to just calm back down and, I said, play our game. But, I'm excited about it. I think it's a challenge anytime you go and play somebody in their environment, just like when somebody comes here. So I'm excited. I think the girls are excited to finally play some more college games again.
I'm excited to make the trip for sure. I'm excited to see what Illinois is all about. It's a very storied program. Ixel Gonzalez, she's from that area. She's from Chicago. I know Illinois recruited her heavily. Wondering if she's expressed any excitement, any anxiety about going back to her home territory, playing against a team in the place that they recruited her for. Does she have family that's going to be coming, making noise for her there? Has she expressed any of that to you?
If she is anxious, or I'm sure she's excited to go back. Her family will be there, so that'll be always great group of family that supports her. But if she has been anxious or excited, it hasn't shown a lot in practice. She's been getting after it every day, and she's a huge part of our team, a huge part of our rotations, and excited for her to play in front of her family again. She got to do that in Whitewater. They came and made that trip, so it'll be exciting, I think, for the whole team and Itzy to go closer to home as well.
Now, finally, Coach, with Nationals looming just a couple months away, Alabama record-wise as the top seed secured for right now. Of course, a lot more games to be played the rest of the season. What's been your message to this team to keep them grounded and focused in practice with a few more college tournaments coming down the pipe just in a few weeks? The team's playing great, but there's always more work to be done. You can't get unfocused at this time of the year. Teams can sneak up on you. I'm curious what you've talked about in practice to keep them motivated and focused and on the road to Nationals right here in Strand-Hart Arena in a couple months.
Yeah, honestly, the message has been pretty similar from the start of the year, is just focusing on getting a little bit better every day. We're not going to – at the beginning of the year, it's like we're not going to be ready for Nationals tomorrow. But now it's about, like I said, peaking at the right time. So let's just keep steadily improving. Keep working on getting a little bit better on defense, seeing the court a little bit better in transition, offensively being a little bit more patient or getting a little more confident in our shots. So it's again, just steady improvement day to day, and just competing with ourselves, right? We're a great team. I think we have capabilities of being a really great team, but the only way we're going to get there is by working together and getting better every day in practice and competing with ourselves. But at the same time, too, still – enjoying it, right? This is an awesome group of young ladies on this team. You're not going to get to play with them forever, so enjoy it at the same time. Don't let it become too serious. Have fun with it. That's always big for me, and this group, I think, does a great job of enjoying it and having fun at the same time, being focused and getting better.
It feels that way from what I've seen. It seems like there's a lot of togetherness. They're always cheering for each other. They got smiles on their faces all the time. They're having fun this season. And winning goes along with it. And that plays a big role in it. Yeah. So always fun to have that. The 17-1 Alabama Crimson Tide heading to Illinois this weekend. Those live streams are going to be live from Champaign, Illinois, the University of Illinois. Games at 10 a.m., 8 p.m. on Friday, and then 10 a.m. on Saturday. Those, of course, on BamaAdapted.com. As always, that does it for Week 8 of the Alabama Adapted Athletics Coaches Show. Thank you to Coach Ryan Hynes for being with us once again. Thanks as well to all the sponsors, Honey Stinger, Hollister, RGK, Jalapenos, Physiolate, ABC Medical, Truist, Way Shelton, WVUA, Powerade, and everyone else, of course. Thank you so much, as always, for your support of Alabama Adapted Athletics. Follow us on socials, Alabama Adapted, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And, of course, check back into YouTube for weekly episodes of the Alabama Adapted Athletics Coaches Show. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day wherever you may be watching or listening from, and roll tide.